Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game of the kid for you. American Tier 6 Destroyer. There's Vinny Mordoff on the screen. If you don't have him, Halsey's your man. You need the twist and track on these American gunboats. You can make a case for a different build on ships like the Benham or the Sims. But in general, I'm going to run Halsey or Mordoff, especially for the twist and track. Here we got a game on Trident Domination Mode game. Now we're going to be talking about destroyer positioning, destroyer v destroyer fights, when to engage. We got a few different topics, and then there's kind of a cautionary tale at the end as well that pertains to all different destroyers. So hopefully you're going to find some useful information in this one. If you're new to the channel or you're a regular viewer but you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you do subscribe. Almost, I think 40%, 45% of my viewers of my videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So that'll just make it easier for you to find the videos if you're subscribed. So if you do that, I would appreciate it. Definitely helps me out. We're moving into sea here. There's the twist and track, that little half moon white thing on the screen. If you don't know what the twist and track is, that tells us the location of the closest ship. Now we got a Fuso behind us. He's not going to pick up the controller anytime soon. I don't even know if he, I think he's AFK the entire game, but we got him. And we got a cruiser who's moving forward, which is nice, but this is a Tier 5 cruiser, I believe, Trento, moving in, basically sailing directly into the cap. So that's not likely to be what you would call long-term behavior from that cruiser. And then the Fuso, it doesn't really matter if he's playing or not, it's just kind of not there. So we're kind of feeling a little bit nervous about this situation over here. I got this Hatsuhara spotted. We were outspotting him. I must have a more advanced build than he does in terms of concealment. I'm just hoping that Trento or whatever that cruiser is going to take some shots at him. We got some torps coming in there. As long as we're aware of them and we're getting away from them, that's fine. Want to keep our guns silent. Why is that? Because Fuso behind him and Nuremberg. Very dangerous ship for any destroyer. Close proximity. And one of the things that you got to keep in mind when it comes to destroyers, when to engage, and destroyer positioning in general, whose support ships are closer to each other? You got these destroyer v destroyer fights that happen often. Who's got the better support usually is a major contributing factor to who wins the duel. So I'm keeping the gun silent so far. Like we mentioned, the cruiser's probably not long for this world. We actually scared that Hatsuhara off the cap though, which is good because our team's managing to get B right off the bat. They're moving one destroyer in there, but it looks like red mainly grouping up to the southeast of the map. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. But Hatsuhara spotted there. Now, I'm looking at the map saying, okay, overload here. I'm really thinking to myself, if we don't kill this Hatsuhara here, this thing could probably cause a lot of damage. So I'm being very risky here. The reason you can get away with this play is if you got the smoke. Because once those support ships start shooting at me, if the situation's dire, if they're threatening my health, I can just pop the smoke, turn away, disengage, and then live to fight another day. But I got heals on the kid, keep in mind. That's part of the package. And those guys weren't really doing that good of a job supporting. They did all start opening up on me there at the end, and I'm holding on to the smoke. Keep in mind, we were just talking about using that as a disengagement tool. But so far, not really that necessary. We're getting a lot of dodgeability off this thing. And, as long as we're not losing a lot of health, we can allow ourselves to let that 20-second cooldown occur naturally. That's when your blue ring on the map, the spotting ring, contracts after you've last fired your shot. And we've dropped spot, and now we're back in control. Here's an important part of positioning, though. Twist and track suggesting Hatsuhara likely moving right to left around this island. Foolish, because you don't want to fight a kid in a Hatsuhara. But look at my advantage. I got this giant island between me and all those support ships. And I don't care about my lack of support ships here in a 1v1. If I can keep this fight 1v1 with the Hatsuhara, he has no chance unless he gets me with the torp, which I'm not going to make it that easy to do. I'm pointing at him at this point in time. We open up on him, shooting. He is not firing his guns. What does that mean? He's launching torpedoes. That's a major tell. Most destroyer players are very poor at launching the torps in between the gunfire, which is what you want to do to conceal the launch. But you can see once he started shooting, we already turned to the left that dodged the torps because he launched on the indicator. And because he shot there, then he was spotted And now we're going to use that smoke to disengage. This is the demonstration of what we were talking about earlier. But that was basically, I pursued him southward because I wanted to make sure he died there. But if I had that island between me and all these ships the entire time, none of those guys could have even possibly shot at me. So that was a huge positional mistake for his part. He was trying to torp me, which that'll work 1 out of 10 times. That's a very low percentage chance play, but it's one of the most utilized plays that destroyer players make. And one of the reasons that you see a lot of bad destroyer play out there, not criticizing that play in particular. Again, very, very common thinking. How do I fight other destroyers? Oh, I'm going to torp them. But go check your stats, check your torpedo accuracy. If you're anything like me, your torpedo accuracy is probably around 10%. I don't know what mine is. I haven't looked at it in months, but it's probably about 9%, 10%. And I as a player, drive that down as low as I can because I like to launch torps early and often. It doesn't really matter if they're quote-unquote high percentage torps. They do better in the water than they do in your ship. So that's my philosophy. The point is, if I'm going into a fight with this 10% mentality, this is going to work 1 out of 10 times. I'm going to lose 9 out of 10 times. So that's not a winning strategy. And a Hatsuhara, a Japanese destroyer, going against the sheriff, not alone a member of the sheriff's department, the sheriff, the kid, the ultimate fear-inducing destroyer out there who is only born to kill other destroyers. And maybe he'll do some capping here and there, but he is the ultimate counter-destroyer ship in the game. Just an overall mistake there. Now, what's going on here? You can see on the map, black hole confirmed. You got to keep in mind, World War II, this is pre-NASA, pre-Space Agency era, so there were not really that much information available on the formation of black holes, but we see it all the time in this game. There was constantly black holes in the oceans, and these suck these ships together like this. They can't get away from each other. They clump up, and that's why I'm getting away with what I'm doing here, sitting in the cloud, gunning these guys down. I'm getting good damage on the Nuremberg, and he's the most dangerous ship to me, so that's why we're shooting him, because my team's not shooting him. But these battleships or whatever, I actually have a Colorado pursuing me over here, and as long as I'm paying attention to him and making sure he's not getting too close to me, I can get away with this. And he doesn't change his course. We just launched torps on the indicator a moment ago and got him. So he's trying to push in. He knows that I'm over here. He's getting sick of my stuff. But basically what I'm doing here is kind of a quasi, French destroyer, Russian destroyer type role. Because we have control of the A, B, and we still technically own C, even though they're pushing that, trying to come back. But because we've had excellent cap control the entirety of the game, we're set up mainly for a win on score, okay? If we can kill all the ships, cool. Nobody's going to object to that. But all we have to do is not let them come back, We don't have to make any aggressive plays or anything like that. We just got to make sure that we can win on score. So my main goal, sail forward here, get the Byron reset. You can see we're getting fires on him. And the Colorado behind us to the Sol shot there. He didn't hit us. And now we're going to switch in between Byron 1, Byron 2. It's like Wayne's World back in the day. Camera 1, camera 2. Byron 1, Byron 2. We're just going to flip back and forth, make sure we're hitting them both, getting the resets. That's going to completely reset that cap. They should all be shooting at me. I'm a spotted destroyer, and I'm causing them problems. But, we're getting away with this. And at this point in time, I don't really care if I, strategically, the kid is not that important at this point in time. All the destroyers on the red team are dead. We have control of all the caps. I mean, I can't control C any harder than I am right now. I mean, it's irrelevant if the kid's here. But this is the cautionary tale I was alluding to earlier. I'm just part of the reason I picked this game was to demonstrate how one of the best gunboat destroyers in the game, how effective it is at gunning down a battleship. And there's multiple fires on this Byron. He's going to be on fire for minutes on end. And I'm getting away with kind of sloppy play just because these guys can't really afford to deal with me. They got like bigger threats fighting them right now. But Byron, look at him. He's down to like 2,000 health there. He's on fire. We're just continuing to switch back and forth, trying to get the resets. And this guy, by the time this gunfight is over, he's going to have more health than he started with by the time we were shooting at him. This is not a viable strategy, and again, keep in mind that the kid is one of the best destroyers at shooting things. So if you're one of the players who I see out there all the time playing your destroyers, who usually it's you launch the torps, you miss them, And then you're like, okay, what do I do now? Well, I got to kill this battleship somehow. Let's see here. He's got about 50,000 health. I'm looking at the kid's damage output here. Every 5 seconds or so, we're averaging maybe 500 damage. So let's see, 500, 5,000, 50,000. So that would be, I don't know. It would be like 30,000 seconds. I have no idea how to do the math. It would take a long time for this destroyer to completely gun down a high health battleship. And you can see there, the Byron's still alive, even though we got plenty of damage on him. We got the fires going. And again, the kid is probably better at dealing damage with its guns than whatever destroyer you happen to be in. So the moral of the story is, if part of your playbook is, I'm going to try and gun down this high health battleship in open water with no cover, no way to disengage, keep an eye on the results. If you're losing 19 out of 20 of those fights, or 20 out of 20 most likely, it's a reason. It's because the game is designed to prevent you from winning that fight. So don't open up fire on these battleships. Again, I'm just getting away with this here just because of the game situation. And part of the, they probably have targets that they consider more high impact on their particular situation than mine. Again, I'm not really dealing that much damage to him, even though I've burned this guy over and over and over again, and we've got probably 30,000, 40,000 damage on him. Whatever it is, we can't kill him. All right, so destroyers fighting other destroyers with guns, extremely effective. Destroyers fighting cruisers with guns, effective in a lot of situations, not all of them. Destroyers fighting battleships with their guns, very rarely effective. Okay, there's certain situations, and yes, sometimes you want to chime in with the guns. I'm not going to cover over every single rule in this game is a rule of thumb. There's multiple exceptions to every single rule, but in general, trying to gun these battleships down, you can see how effective a play this is. It's not. The only reason we're doing it in this game is because basically this is all that we needed to be doing, was harassing these guys, trying to reset C and win the game through the score. So that's a look at the kid. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Questions, comments, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.